This is a really big deal. Really, really big deal. When you think of how many people depend on Medicaid coverage when they're pregnant, and even consider that there are some people who only have access to reproductive health care when they're pregnant because they have Medicaid coverage. This is huge. And what comes up for me is the thought that we're going to have to learn how to hold one another in a different type of way. It makes me think of this quote that I heard in an episode of American Gods. And ever since I heard it, it has stayed with me. But it's that family is who you survive with when you have to survive, even when you do not like them. And although my focus on this channel is on maternal health and reproductive health, I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge the fact that we are actively in real time in the middle of a coup in this country. Nobody really knows. Nobody can really call what the coming weeks or months are going to look like. I also know that there has been a lot of messaging preparing people for this time, and I've participated in it, encouraging folks to get get with community, deepen in community, get involved in your community. And I also want to acknowledge that for some people that's probably going to be a little bit difficult because we have cultivated a culture in this society of meanness. A lot of us have lost the know-how, the ability to interact with one another. I know that the pandemic had a lot to do with it, and it really influenced the way that we socialize. But even beyond that, there's this culture of meanness that has been prevalent for a while. You know, who can be the snarkiest? Who can not give a damn more than the other person? You know, that whole energy of I don't want you to have what I have. I don't want them to have what I have. Got us here. And that energy has been prevalent for a while, but it has a lot to do with how we ended up where we are right now. Because people are concerned about what other people have and not wanting them to have it. So, one thing that I would like to encourage for people who may have a difficult time um, building community, building relationships from where they are, is to find points of connection. This was a practice that I started for myself with when dealing with a family member that I was having a really difficult time with. And what I would do when we had to interact with one another is I would look for the points of connection and focus my attention there. So the things that we had in common, the interests that we had in common, focus my attention on that and entertaining that and cultivating that and being in that space and that energy. And it did help to soften. the relationship that I have with that family member. But that's something that we have an opportunity to do on a day to day basis with everybody who we encounter, whether they be family members or loved ones or strangers or colleagues or, whomever we encounter. We have opportunities to engage one another's humanity every day, all day. And a lot of times we can recognize those opportunities because those might be the times where we don't feel like we have the time or the patience, but they're opportunities to exercise the time and the patience. Because when we make those points of connection, we're connecting to one another's humanity. And we need more of that right now, especially if we're going to cultivate a world where we continue to bring children into it. I'm thinking about just simple human moments. I don't know if you've ever had an experience where you and a stranger happen to see something funny and laugh at the same time. Simple human moments. That's where we can start engaging one another's humanity. So I know this video is a little bit headier, more esoteric, maybe, I don't know, than some of the content that I have put out prior, but it feels necessary to say, you know, because these are wild times. We don't know what's going to happen. But what we do know is that we have one another and that we are capable of coming together and cleaving together and making change as human beings. So, yeah, I hope this message lands where it's supposed to. And I hope you all have a beautiful day. And lastly, protect your fertility because it's yours.